Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. I'm here to give you...
Hi, my name is Marty Levinson.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
And that was the real Marty Levinson. Thought time for a new opening for the show. First of all, if you look at this wonderfully coiffed hair today, well, if the guy was a different way, I'd say I went to Marte. But no, Marty Levinson, like the old time, like real barber, you know, before all the fancy stuff. Hey, Marty, you did a great job. It's less than 2 hours now, so I haven't mussed it up too much. Maybe later in the show, you know, it'll get worse. But you did a great job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks to my entire technical crew, Sonny Hersh. Hey, stay tuned next week where you get to see exciting people like Terry O'Brien, Tom Dart, Larry Sufferton, and Jim Nally. That'll be the guests over the next 2 weeks' show. We're not rerunning any shows until after the election, so every show each week is going to be new. Don't forget to go to our website, ntnm.org, always www. Don't forget the community policing website that Sonny Hersh, our entire technical crew, runs, www.caps24.org. And now it is a pleasure to have. People ask me, why do you have some people ask me, why do you have this guy on so often? But most people always say, you know what, I saw you with Berny Stone. I saw you with Berny Stone. It's not, hello, how are you? It used to be, you're taller in person than you are on TV. Oh, you're not as fit in real life as you are on TV. But now it's like, hi, I saw you with Berny Stone. Even at the Jewel last time. I saw you with Berny Stone. So anyway, guess who our next guest is? And he just said, well, actually, we're not sure because didn't you just bring up the question that you might have been Marty Levinson?
I trimmed your hair, you recall, but you wouldn't let me use a razor on your throat, though. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't. I'm not very steady using a razor.
I hear. No, that's one of the reasons I have a
beard.
Yeah. You think you're bad, I'm bad.
Okay.
So, you know, if I
use an electric razor myself.
So do I, but I want to I can cut myself with an electric razor.
No.
So I don't have skin that was meant for shaving. Anyway, I'm so glad you could make it here, and you know, I want to tell you, first of all, if you guys want to get on the email list, I want to urge you, go to the website, you know, like look at the end of the show. You can get me at ntnm.org. Go to Avi at ureach.com. There's Avi at Comcast, you know, .net. Get on the email list for the show. I've been getting more interesting. I'm sending out weekly emails for who's on. And as I said last time, it was like instead of making up rumors and false stories about what's going on in the neighborhood, why not actually watch the show and listen to what Alderman Stone's saying? Although I got to tell you, all those false rumors, I'm starting to bet people now when they give me this nonsense, and I'm winning all my bets. I haven't lost one yet.
That's good.
So tell me, what do we have? Now, you know what? A couple questions I want to ask you. I mean, these aren't the most important questions of the day. We'll filter into them. But if I don't ask this right away, I'm going to forget. So, number one, I was told at one of the CAPS meetings somebody was claiming that there's actually a law in the 50th Ward against having street vendors. Is that true?
Yes.
So these guys...
It's been the law for at least 15 or 20 years.
So, but you know what? On my corner when school's in session over I live near Boone, there's going to be people selling these frozen pretzel things messing up my grass, as if I don't water it enough, but whatever. And not frozen pretzels, but you know what I'm talking about.
There's always the law is always being broken all the time. I see these guys with these paper cups. I saw it this afternoon, standing on the corner, accosting motorists. I mean, people break the law.
Well, that I know, and by the way, I do remember my youth, and I made a habit of breaking the law.
There's a law against peddling in the 50th Ward, and the street vendors are part of the peddling law. And it has been the law for at least 15 years that I recall. I introduced the law. I put in the exact dimensions of the 50th Ward. I updated it about 5 years ago because of the change in the map of the 50th Ward. And there's a no peddling law in the 50th Ward. In fact, I think if you went on certain corners, you'll see signs that say no peddling, and that's part of it. I don't bother the guys that sell Christmas trees at Christmas time. I don't bother ones that are inoffensive, but I do ask the police to stop the rug peddlers, the guys that set up shop with the paintings. And,
yeah, I figure they're not even paying rent; they're just stealing somebody's space on a parking lot.
That's exactly right. They set up. You mentioned Terry O'Brien before. They set up on water reclamation property all the time.
I've seen
and
that.
I've stopped them, and I've had the police tell them point blank that we're going to confiscate their trucks and their goods if they don't get the hell out of there.
By the way, as long as you mentioned Terry O'Brien, I don't know if you're aware of the fact, his body was the only Cook County type entity that actually lowered the amount of taxes and the money they needed from the county last year.
Well, I think that's great, and that means that they're doing a great job, and that's why.
Well, actually, Terry O'Brien's one of the main. Well, actually, the main reason they're doing a great job,
Yes.
and I got to give them all the credit in the world.
Yes,
and
they deserve that credit. And,
no, but getting back to the peddling, because I just, if you say something good about Terry O'Brien, I've got to chime in. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
But in any event,
well, We'll make sure that in November that Terry runs high in the 50th Ward.
No, first of all, I want to tell you, all the people that know him, I want to tell you, even though I haven't seen Billy Halperin lately, I know he's going to start talking to me and saying stuff like, you tell Terry I got him 37 votes. And you know what? I see him in synagogue. He's telling everybody, whatever you do this election, go to the polls. You got to make sure you vote for Terry O'Brien. What a good guy. Then I'll talk about when Mayor Daley was at his house, when he lived about Rockwell and Albion and all that.
Well, you know, of course, that Terry, many years ago, was one of my ward, actually my aldermanic secretary.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't know that until you told me on the show just a few years ago. So
And I'm so proud of that fact, and that's why I said it.
You got really good taste, I'll tell you that.
You're damn right.
But getting back to the street peddler. So in other words, if I see, you know what, I'll tell you something. I just think it cheapens a neighborhood and gives people a lower opinion of what's going on. And when I see these guys, like, I don't think I don't have a heart, and I don't feel like they should be making money, like doing whatever, but they don't have to make it here.
There's a law against it. But, of course, the police have so many other things to do that it's more important that they stop crime than it is that they hassle the street peddlers. If they see it, they're obligated to stop them. But on the other hand, in my book, it's more important that they stop crime.
I don't disagree, but let's face it. I mean, I see people near Clinton. I see people near Boone. Now, if the police really took care of just a handful of people, it's pretty much gone. There's not a ton of them. And I feel bad for them, but you know what? Let them go down Clark Street where it's more their crowd. That's more like a street. Or go down to Broadway and Belmont. That's more the area for these kind of things. That's
not part of my ward, and I'm not going to speak for that.
Now, by the way, no, I understand that. And by the way, I think some of these people are probably selling foie gras to their carts these days. But
I've already stated on the floor of the council, I'm sorry I voted for that law.
Oh, by the way, I didn't know you did that, but I will tell you this.
It was passed unanimously. We all did. We all got buffaloed, I'm sorry to say.
I'll tell you from my standpoint, plain and simple, that I honestly think that more foie gras is being eaten than ever as a result of this legislation.
I've never eaten it, and I don't know what it is, and I've just felt sorry for those poor little geese, and that's all the reason we voted for it.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, because you know what? Even though I definitely love a good steak, the fact of the matter is that, you know what? I don't like the whole idea, and even I have never eaten I don't even like chopped liver. Okay, and basically foie gras is you force feed a duck or a goose the last few days of its life. You enlarge the liver. It tastes really good to people. See, to me, a liver cleanses the blood in a system and the waste. I don't want to eat something that's busy cleaning the yucky stuff in a person's body, whether it's a goose or a duck or whatever. I don't eat chicken livers. I don't eat cow livers. It's funny, when I was a little kid, And we went. I remember we went to my aunt's house in Detroit. My mother said, she's proud of her chopped liver. I don't care what you have to do to choke it down. You are eating the chopped liver. And my uncle, okay, would pour like a ton of salt on everything. That's before people knew what salt was. So I asked for a bottle of ketchup, and I think for about an ounce of chopped liver, I had about 8 ounces of ketchup on it. That's how I choked it down. But I'm not I like salmon. I know you're a big fan of lox and things like that.
Yes, I am.
I'm a big fan. I happen to like Pacific salmon and the wild stuff, the good Alaskan salmon, stuff off Washington.
Well, but I think we've reached the point where it's getting silly with some of the laws that we're adopting. I don't want to go into somebody's kitchen and start telling them what they can eat and what they can't eat. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting sick of all these adoption of all these laws that we're passing. It's getting to the point where it's really getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's silly. I hate to say it. It's really silly.
And people say you got more important things to do. Well, in some respects, yes and no. It is our duty to be the guardians of the health of the general public. So we do have a duty as far as the health is concerned. But I don't want to overdo and go into their personal lives. And so you got to balance your duty to guard the health against going into the personal lives of the general public. So I think it's gone overboard at this point, and I think we should draw it back a little bit.
I agree with you. Now, you were one of the main opponents of big box.
I still am.
And by the way, I want to tell you something. Even though I really will not shop at a Walmart no matter what, and I dislike the Sam's Club.
It has nothing to do with Walmart.
I agree. Well, you know what? The thing is that I have to say that I totally disagree with the big box law from the standpoint that they're just going to move right outside the border like they are in Niles or whatever else. Well, you tell me.
Yeah, look, the question that's involved here has nothing to do with Walmart or Target or any of the other big companies. The question is a question of equality and a question of law. Number one, you can't pass a law that says 90,000 square feet. That is not a basis of segregating certain types of businesses.
Okay.
On the other hand, for instance, the mayor of Santa Fe came to testify before us. The Santa Fe law would have been fine if they had passed it.
What's the Santa Fe
Santa
law?
Fe law says any company that has 25 or more employees.
Oh, that's simple. Yeah.
Now that law would have been enforceable. 90,000 square feet, that's not enforceable. The law in San Francisco, we had a testimony from a commissioner in San Francisco, that would have been fine. In fact, that was the law that I had suggested as the alternative. What that law was, any business that does business with the city of Chicago, no matter what type of business it is, if they supply goods, if they're a depository, for instance, a bank, their employees must pay a living wage.
Okay.
That law would have been enforceable. Why? Because they voluntarily do business with the city of Chicago. And incidentally, that would have been more employees than the employees that work for the big box companies.
Right. No question.
So that law would have been a good law. The unions refused to accept my alternative.
Oh, really?
Now,
that's not nice.
Now, you see, so the question is, am I against paying a living wage? Absolutely not. I had offered an alternative. So, and it wasn't a question of that I'm pro the big companies. It's a question of come up with a reasonable law. But they didn't come up with a reasonable law. They try to segregate by square feet. Let me tell you, if and when the law is tested, the courts are going to throw the law out.
I would think so. I'm not a lawyer, you are.
Which is going to cost the city of Chicago millions of dollars in court costs and attorney's fees in order to defend the law. Well, that's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
It sounds to me like Mayor Daley's going to veto it.
I hope to God he does, because first of all, if we pass that law, it's going to hurt our economy for the very reason you gave. These big companies are not going to locate in Chicago. They're going to locate on our borders. And what do I know? I'm a ward who sits on the border of 3 suburbs. And if they locate on my border, which is, of course, the reason I keep getting kidded about the fact that they say you built a stone wall. I didn't build a wall.
Which I was 100% in favor of.
I built a barrier.
Which I was 100% in favor of, and it was good reason.
And everything I said when we built the barrier came true. The first thing that happened is Jewel closed the store in Chicago and moved to the Evanston location.
Right, they were at Howard and Western. They closed up.
Jewel met with me in the mayor's office, and Jewel looked at the mayor and swore, we will not close the store in Chicago. 3 months after they opened the store in Evanston, they closed the store in Chicago. They lied.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Right,
they lied.
Which is why I shop at Kohl's in New York.
With a straight face, they told the mayor, we will not close the store in Chicago. And then they closed the store. So, I mean, this is the way it is. And this is what you face. And Jewel was a big company, and I fought Jewel. So am I pro-big company? Absolutely not. I fought him, and I built that barrier. Now, I lost the case in court. Why did I lose the case? Because they said it was unsafe to build a barrier. Well, during the 14 months the barrier was up, there was one accident.
Yeah.
And the accident occurred not because a car hit another car, it's because a woman was listening to her radio and lost control of her car and hit the barrier. It had nothing to do with the barrier causing the accident. It was because she lost control of her car. Immediately after the case ordered the barrier taken down, there was something like 15 different cases in less than 3 months afterwards because people hit each other, their head-on crashes. Yeah. So you tell me which was safer, the barrier or the not barrier.
Oh, I like that. I like that very much.
That's the result of the ruling. So I don't know. In the meantime, what's occurred since that time is that it turned out that the shopping center didn't result in as much damage as I thought it was going to result because they didn't bring in as many people as I thought they were going to bring in and didn't bring in as much traffic as we thought they'd bring into the neighborhood. So it all worked out okay in the end, except, of course, we lost the Jewel at Howard and Western.
Which was unfortunate.
But that's the things you face. Yeah. I like your beginning statement, though. I'll tell you why. Let me give you an example. I introduced, as a matter of fact, the show is, of course, being taped, so
it'll be on 2 weeks from when we tape it.
Well, on this date today, I introduced into committee and the zoning committee
August 23rd
an ordinance which is also being introduced into the Plan Commission. But it's been introduced already for the Plan Commission. And there's all kinds of people the notice has gone out prior to this time, and all kinds of rumors have gone out regarding this notice, and people are all disturbed over the notice, and all kinds of rumors have gone out on it. It concerns Park Plaza.
That was my next question, so thank you.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what it is. It amends the plan development. Okay, what's the amendment? The amendment is very simple. It says, Park Plaza shall not be used for any other purpose but for its current purpose, which is to be used for senior citizen,
a retirement home,
or for It's
like a partially assisted living center? An
assisted living
senior center.
Or a nursing home or related uses.
Because the people there are functional. They have kitchen privileges there. They get to cook their own food. They're ambulatory. They just need a little bit of help.
It's for the type of use that it's currently being used or its related type of uses.
Sounds to me like I'm going to win another bet or two here.
In other words, it shall not be used for, what is that other word? Condominiums?
Condominiums.
So that is the purpose of the amendments.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to have a fight on my hands because I think the current owner might not like it, but that was the purpose of the original plan development, and we intend to keep it that way.
By the way, if we could turn the owner right now into foie gras, then I might be in favor of foie gras.
But instead of rumors, if you'd come and ask me, I'd tell you that.
That's right. And I really want to say their names right now, but I'm not going to do it. I really had to hold back.
Those people who actually came and asked me, I told them that.
See, that's all they have to do. We know exactly who we're talking about. We talked, by the way.
In fact, some people even asked me, I guess they didn't believe me, they asked me to send them a copy. So I was very happy to send them a copy of the amendment.
I like that. I like that very much. Okay, another question, not that this is the biggest deal in the world, because I figure the answer to everything is a condominium or a mixed business condominium thing.
Incidentally, while I'm talking about condominium, a couple weeks ago, the people from Peterson Park,
the Home Improvement,
the Peterson Park Improvement Association came to see me, and what they asked me is if I would make sure that I didn't entertain any additional changes in zoning. And when I answered to them, I could answer to all.
Okay.
That it was not my intent to have any additional zoning changes in the ward. I didn't set a time limit on it, and I'll tell you why I'm not.
I don't know if you know, but Thursday at 7:30, when the show's actually on, so you guys are there now. At the J, all these guys without TVs that don't want their kids to watch TV.
Yeah.
They gather in front of the TV at the J at some of the health clubs in Evanston and nearby here. So, hi there, guys. We appreciate you watching.
Well, one of the reasons that I told them I already had made up my mind not to do it, and one of the reasons I'm not going to entertain additional changes in zoning, and I've told this to any developers who have come to me with new plans. Those that are there already are in the works already. We'll probably go ahead with. But I'm not entertaining any additional new changes in zoning for the simple reason is I want to see the ones that are in the works, I want to see them done because I don't want a mass of, for instance, condominiums completed and then not sold or in case they're rental units rented and vacant. I want to see them filled up first. Yeah. And once they're filled up, then we'll entertain any additional
there's an
changes.
awful lot of proposed building. You look at that, what I hate to say it, it's becoming a joke, too, on Kedzie over there.
Well, I see the market changing, and even though the market's still good, I want to see them whatever we have already passed. I want to see them built, and I want to see them filled, and then we'll entertain additional ones.
You've got a reasonable amount of expansion here. Now, Devon and Kedzie, is that also going to be like mixed use, like businesses on the first floor, condos, where the gas station used to be?
Yeah, that's what it was proposed. I mean, remember that was passed a year ago.
Yeah, but you know what I didn't remember, and somebody asked me, and I just figure, unlike
that's
other
a small
people,
building, though.
Instead of starting rumors, I'm going to ask the alderman.
That's a small building. I think that was only 9 or 10 units.
Okay, no, it's not that big a property. So basically, now anything new? Also, that as long as you mentioned Park Plaza, Anything with the Northwest Home or the Council for the Jewish Elderly that's new? Or?
I've talked to both. I've talked to both Northwest Home and Council of Jewish Elderly, and there's been no progress, to the best of my knowledge, since my conversations.
Well, you
with
think
them.
the present person that I like to turn into foie gras still wants to really make it condos or whatever?
I have no idea what's happening there.
Okay. Now, other building developments in the neighborhood. Is there anything new or?
They've proceeded with the Northtown Theater. That's on a voluntary basis. He's gone ahead and he's proceeded with a planned development for the old Northtown Theater. That one was in the works, and that is going to be condominiums and commercial on Western, where the theater was, and going all the way to the alley. And on a voluntary basis, he's introduced a planned development on that one. And in talking to the planning department, they indicate that that's a good plan.
Okay, well, that's good.
And so that will be coming up before the Plan Commission in a couple months.
Okay, anything? Are they going to start building at Devon and Rockwell soon, or?
The plan is almost at the final stage before the decap, so it should be approved any day now.
Okay, now it's not your department, but in terms of real estate tax, we did have Senator Silverstein on recently, and Mayor Daley is actually finally, in Madigan, are looking like they're actually going to get behind an ordinance to...
It's a state statute to put on the 7% cap.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're fully supporting that. But it's the legislature has to adopt that cap.
That sounds good. Even though this is going to be on probably the second week of September, any early indications of interesting things coming election time, or?
Well, we've got a tough battle, particularly all the way up from the state all the way down to the lowest battle locally, and I know that we're going to do well here in the 50th, but we've got fights on our hands. We intend to carry everybody from the governor down.
Well, frankly, as long as you carry Terry O'Brien, I'm not going to. Well, the governor, I may have to.
That's our number one. That's our number one interest is the president of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District.
Yeah, Terry O'Brien. That's what we're talking about. So that's important. Frankly, I am definitely going to vote Republican for governor. That much I'll tell you.
Well, that's your. That's I'm a Democratic committeeman, so I'm supporting the Democratic candidates.
Yeah, you got to do that. Me, I'm Topinka all the way. I mean, Blagojevich.
He was in our parade on Saturday.
I didn't know you had a gay parade.
We had the Indian community had a wonderful parade on Saturday.
Oh, the Indian parade. Oh, I got to tell you, I heard the Pakistani one. Oh, did I hear the Pakistani one?
What about the Pakistani?
Oh, it was loud. No, I just heard it. I was out in the backyard working the vegetables, and boy, it was.
The Indian parade was much better than the Pakistani. It was about.
I wasn't at either one.
It was about 3 times. The Pakistani parade was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
The Indian parade was on a Saturday.
Oh, so wait, the one that was Sunday is when I heard the noise.
That's the Pakistani.
I probably heard the Sunday. I would have heard the Saturday one too if I was actually.
Well, you might have been in show.
Right. Exactly. You know what? At this point, Mickey's hands are really saying it's pretty close to the end of things. So besides we both agree you got to vote for Terry O'Brien, if you watch the show and listen to Alderman Stone, you might actually find out what's really going on in the neighborhood. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Senny Hersh. I want to thank Joe Chukche so much for bringing the Alderman over. Our guests over the next few weeks are President Terry O'Brien. We got Tom Dart, Jim Nally, and you know what? We're running out of time, everybody. Thank you so much, Alderman Stone.
Thank you, Albie.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Remember, come to me anytime you want to get your hair clipped.
You got it.